Happy New Year's Eve, everybody.
Yeah.
Are you ready to finally ditch those same old resolutions and actually make 2025 like completely different?
Totally different. Yeah.
Oh, you've come to the right place.
Goodbye.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, because this deep dive is going to be all about setting yourself up for success.
Ooh, I like that.
We're about to unpack 8 powerful principles for self-improvement. And, we're drawing these insights from Practical Psychology and the Self-Obsessed podcast.
Okay.
But get this, they have surprisingly different approaches.
Really?
So this is going to be really interesting.
I'm intrigued.
Me too.
What fascinates me is how these sources, despite their different styles, they both highlight the importance of starting with the fundamentals,
Yeah.
Practical Psychology, for instance, emphasizes the often overlooked power of just drinking enough water.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I know, right? They actually call it the 2-minute rule.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's literally just 2 minutes to chug a glass of water.
Mm.
And it can totally set you up for better focus and energy throughout the day.
Wow.
But here's what I found really interesting. Practical Psychology suggests using a visual cue to make it more automatic.
Okay.
So keeping a full glass of water right on your desk,
Mm-hmm.
it acts as a subtle reminder to stay hydrated.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's all about leveraging those little nudges,
Yes.
to build those positive habits.
Exactly.
And it ties into what Practical Psychology says about food choices, too.
Okay.
They advocate for a simple rule: if you can't pronounce an ingredient,
Yeah.
maybe think twice about eating it.
Uh-huh.
It's a clever way to steer clear of overly processed foods without getting bogged down in complicated diet plans.
Yeah. It's so simple, but so smart.
I know, right?
Okay, this next one might sound a little woo-woo.
Okay.
But both forces talk about the power of gratitude.
Hmm.
And the Self-Obsessed podcast really leans into this idea of gratitude as a way to attract abundance and cultivate positive energy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that Practical Psychology takes a more grounded approach.
Okay.
Yeah, they suggest a daily gratitude practice.
Oh, okay.
So they recommend keeping a journal by your bed and jotting down a few things you're grateful for before you sleep.
Okay.
And they even delve into the neuroscience a bit.
Wow.
They mention the reticular activating system.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, the idea is that what you focus on expands.
Right.
So by consciously directing your attention towards gratitude, you're essentially training your brain
Yeah,
to see more good in your life.
that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's priming your mind to spot opportunities and appreciate the little things
Exactly.
instead of getting stuck in a negativity loop.
Yes. But here's a question for you. Have you ever tried a gratitude journal?
I have.
And if so, did you notice a difference?
It's funny. I found it to be a surprisingly powerful practice.
Really?
Yeah, it's easy to dismiss it as fluffy or overly simplistic.
I know.
But there's something about taking that time each day to consciously reflect on what's good in your life.
Yeah,
It helps to shift your perspective,
for sure.
especially when you're going through a tough time.
Absolutely. I could definitely see that sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and just forget to appreciate all the good stuff.
For sure.
Speaking of keeping your mind sharp,
Yeah,
both sources emphasize the importance of lifelong learning.
I like that.
Yeah, Practical Psychology is all about cracking open a good book,
Hmm.
while both sources highlight the value of TED Talks.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Yeah, TED Talks are great.
Yeah. And what's really valuable is that Practical Psychology challenges us to go beyond the obvious sources.
Okay.
They ask, where do you find inspiration?
That's a good question.
Right. It could be anything from documentaries to podcasts to even just engaging in stimulating conversations with people.
Definitely.
The point is to stay curious and keep feeding your mind with new information and perspectives.
Yeah, keep learning.
Right. It's like building mental muscle.
Totally.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
I agree.
But I'm curious, where do you find inspiration?
Oh, well, lately I've been fascinated by...
Oh, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back with more juicy insights from Practical Psychology and the Self-Obsessed podcast.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
Exploring the intersection of philosophy and neuroscience.
Whoa.
It's amazing how these seemingly disparate fields can offer such profound insights into the human experience.
Wow, that sounds fascinating. See, this is what I love about our deep dives.
Yeah.
I always learn something new. But okay, back to our 8 principles we were talking about learning, but this next one might be even more important. forgiveness.
Oh, yeah.
Practical psychology makes this really interesting point that forgiving someone, even if they haven't apologized, is ultimately an act of self-care.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Practical psychology highlights how holding on to resentment and anger can be so heavy emotionally,
Yeah.
and it weighs you down and prevents you from moving forward.
Right.
It's like carrying around a bag of rocks.
Yeah.
It takes energy and focus away from the things that truly matter.
So it's not about like condoning someone's actions,
No, not at all.
but it's more about releasing yourself from the negativity associated with those actions.
Exactly. It's like freedom.
Yeah.
And this ties into the next principle beautifully.
Okay.
Finding your tribe.
Okay.
Half Obsessed podcast talks about being mindful of the energy you surround yourself with.
Yes.
Choosing to spend time with people who uplift and inspire you. They even use this funny term, passenger princess,
Oh, yeah.
to describe people who just kind of passively let life happen to them
Right.
instead of actively creating the life they want.
It's like choosing to be the driver of your own destiny, right?
Exactly.
And practical psychology has some really great practical advice on this front.
Oh.
They suggest joining groups that align with your interests, whether it's a book club or a hiking group or even like an online community.
Yeah.
They even specifically mention Meetup and Facebook as resources.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What's powerful about that advice is that it encourages you to be proactive.
Uh-huh.
It's not enough to just wish for a supportive network.
Well.
You have to actually take steps to create one.
Right.
And speaking of taking action,
Okay.
practical psychology offers the surprisingly simple tip that so often gets overlooked.
Oh, I like this.
Congratulate yourself.
I know, right? It seems so obvious.
I know.
But how often do we actually take the time to celebrate our own wins, no matter how big or small?
Yeah, we're always so hard on ourselves.
Right.
It's true.
Practical psychology emphasizes that positive reinforcement, even if it's just from ourselves, is crucial for maintaining momentum and building lasting habits.
It's so important.
And it doesn't have to be anything grand.
Right.
It can be as simple as acknowledging your effort, savoring the feeling of accomplishment, or even like treating yourself to something you enjoy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's about reinforcing those positive neural pathways and associating growth with feeling good.
Yes, I love that.
I love that too. It's like giving yourself a mental high five.
I love that.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of our list.
Right.
But this next one is a biggie, taking control of your life.
Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah, the Self-Obsessed podcast has this really powerful message about stepping out of the passenger princess role
Yeah.
and actively designing a life you love.
I love that.
Yeah, they talk about high versus low cortisol routines,
Uh-huh.
which is basically identifying the things that spike your stress levels and replacing them with activities that nourish your mind and body.
It's all about taking back your power.
Right.
Yeah, this really resonates with me. It's about making conscious choices that support your well-being
Yeah.
rather than just reacting to whatever life throws at you.
Exactly.
It's about creating a life that feels good on every level.
Mhm.
Mentally, emotionally, physically.
Yes. And practical psychology adds another layer to this
Okay.
by emphasizing the importance of aligning your actions with your values.
Yeah.
Like they suggest asking yourself,
Mm.
what are you doing today to build the life you envision for yourself?
Hmm.
If the answer doesn't feel good,
Uh-huh.
that's a sign that some adjustments might be needed.
It's about checking in with yourself.
Yeah.
And being honest with yourself.
Exactly.
And making choices that are in alignment with your deepest desires and aspirations.
For sure.
And finally,
Okay.
we come to the principle that ties everything together,
Okay.
creating abundance.
Ooh, I like this.
The Self-Obsessed podcast really dives deep into this concept
Okay.
and talks about shifting your emotional energy to match the reality you want to create.
Oh, wow.
They even use this analogy of emotions being like currency.
Okay.
You can either invest them wisely or squander them on things that don't serve you.
I love that.
It's a good one.
It makes you really think about where you're directing your mental and emotional energy.
Right.
Are you investing in things that uplift and empower you?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you letting your energy get drained by negativity and self-doubt?
That's such a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
And Self-Obsessed Podcast offers some really practical tips for cultivating an abundance mindset,
Okay, what are they?
like practicing gratitude,
Okay.
visualizing your desired reality,
Mm-hmm.
and surrounding yourself with people who support your dreams.
Those are all great.
Right. They also talk about the importance of shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset.
Okay.
It's about believing that there's enough for everyone, that you're worthy of receiving good things,
Uh-huh.
and that the universe is conspiring to support you.
I love that.
And it's not just about material abundance.
Right.
It's about abundance in all areas of your life. Love, health, happiness, fulfillment, purpose.
Yes.
It's about feeling truly rich from the inside out.
Yeah.
It sounds like creating abundance is ultimately about aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with what you truly desire.
Exactly. And that brings us to the end of our 8 principles.
Wow. That was quite a journey.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of ground, from the simple act of drinking enough water
Yeah.
to the profound power of forgiveness and creating abundance.
That's amazing.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
we want to leave you with a final thought.
You know, as we head into this new year, we want to challenge you to think about which of these principles resonated most deeply with you.
Yeah.
And more importantly, what's one small, tangible step you can take today to embody that principle?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be this huge life overhaul.
Right.
Maybe it's just like filling up your water bottle right now.
Yeah.
Or like jotting down 3 things you're grateful for.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe it's finally like reaching out to that person you've been meaning to connect with.
Yeah.
Or setting aside just 15 minutes to learn something new.
It's about those small steps.
Yeah.
It's about making a conscious choice to shift your energy
Yes.
and align your actions with your aspirations.
It's like planting a seed
Yeah.
and nurturing it with like consistent action.
Exactly.
And over time, those small steps can blossom into something really remarkable.
Absolutely. And remember, you don't have to navigate this journey alone.
Oh, yeah.
There's a wealth of resources out there, from books and podcasts to online communities and coaching programs.
Yes.
Find what supports you, what inspires you, what helps you stay accountable to your vision.
And of course, we'll be here with you every step of the way,
Definitely.
diving deep into all sorts of fascinating topics to help you expand your knowledge, challenge your beliefs, and create a life you truly love.
So as we count down to the new year,
Yes.
raise a glass to yourself, to your potential, and to the incredible journey of growth and transformation that lies ahead.
Here's to making 2025 your most extraordinary year yet. And before we let you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment below and share this deep dive with anyone who might be looking for a little inspiration as we step into this new year.
That's a great idea.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.